Right, a very good afternoon to you from the sports desk. Let's quickly catch you up. Candice Lill continues to be one of local mountain biking shining lights. Victory in the recent SA Marathon Championships was a reminder of her class. But it's by no means the only success the stalwart rider has enjoyed in her career. For more on this, of course, we are joined by Candice herself. She joins us now via Zoom. Candice, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. Let's start with your most recent success in the SA Marathon Champs. Were you expecting to win?
Yeah, it's been a good season for me. Well, firstly, thanks for having me on here. It's been a wonderful season so far. I've started really strong. So there was a high expectation that I would at least be on the podium, and yeah, to take the win was awesome.
So going back to the earlier times, did you see your career going this way when you started out?
Absolutely, yeah. So mountain biking's been something I've done since I was in school. Obviously just for fun at first, coming through the ranks, and then when I left school, I decided to pursue it as a career, and I've been very fortunate to be able to do it since.
And that's great to hear. I think a lot of people actually, when they are in school, they're not quite sure what they want to do. So it's great to hear that you knew and actually has worked out very, very well for you. So South Africa has been blessed with talented cyclists like yourself. So it's never a surprise when they do well on the world stage. Which world events stand out for you in your career so far?
Well, I would definitely say most recently my bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games. That was a massive highlight for me last year. And then in previous years, I've actually, when I was a junior, achieved a bronze medal as well at the World Championships. And then more local in South Africa, I have come second and got some stage wins at the Cape Epic, which is the biggest mountain bike stage race in the world.
And congratulations on that, Candice. Candice, recently we had International Women's Day. What do you think needs to be done in the world of cycling, or at least what has been done already that you think is really, really great, that has been a big stepping stone for women in the sport, and what more do you think needs to be done?
Sure, there's been really good steps being taken in the last few years. In terms of women cycling, in terms of the pro side, as well as also women to enter the sport, because that's what we need. We need a lot of women to have access to be able to do the sport in the first place, if they're ever going to have the chance to get to the professional side. So I think in South Africa we've done very well, also in terms of just including people from all races and all backgrounds. There's a lot of initiatives. I know now for this Cape Epic coming up, there is an initiative called Untamed, which brings women from all backgrounds in South Africa and gives them the chance to the training tools, access to whatever you need to be able to complete the Cape Epic. And they've actually got a whole bunch of women doing it this year.
So speaking about She Untamed, and when you speak about bringing in women from all walks of life, have you actually seen that change, you know, over the past few years, or you know, over your career span, from what you've seen when you first started in cycling and what you see now? Have you actually seen those changes?
Absolutely, it's been a massive shift. Like when I started. When I was a teenager and a child, I was basically the girl racing with the boys all the time. There was hardly any women in the sport. And it was like that for years. And it was just a sport that had a lot of men and the women were just very few. And there's absolutely no reason why it should be this way. And I think now we're breaking down those walls. We're saying, look, anyone can have the skill to do this. You just need to know how. And it obviously helps when more and more women are coming into the sport. And it just shows the other women that it's possible.
Definitely, and I must say, She Untamed really, really sounds great. What I want to know from you, Candice, and it is for those who are also watching at home now, who are interested in cycling, or those who possibly have been interested all this time. However, cycling is not necessarily the cheapest of sports. How do they go about getting into the sport if that is what their concern is, if their concern is a financial one?
I mean, it's a really difficult, as you said, cycling is an expensive sport, but in order to start, you don't have to go big. You know, people think, oh, I must get the most expensive bike, or I need to have this bike because this professional is racing it. You can really start small. You can get a second-hand bike. You can borrow a bike from somebody. There's channels such as, well, for the women from the She Untamed side, I know there's also other groups. One is called the Trail Angels that you could reach out to. And yeah, just really don't try and go too big in the beginning in order to start.
Definitely. Candice, thank you so much for your time. We're going to have to leave it there for now. But once again, a big congratulations to you for what you have achieved at the SA Marathon Champs. That was Candice Lill. We'll have more sport for you later.